Speaking of hate mail, this next segment will be brought to you by DraftKings when they decide that they're going to pay us. But only then. Before then, it will not be brought to you by DraftKings, but eventually it could be.
But what you just did is you gave him free reach, DraftKings, and then when the season gets closer, it'll be DraftKings Rainmakers, because I still have a fuck ton of those, and I don't know what to do because I cannot sell them at this point, so I might have to play with them all season.
Speaking of just opening a statistness, there was a decree made by one Jamar Chase. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, when this happened, I think it happened like last week. Initially, I was not going to put this in the outline. I had no desire to talk about this. It was a dude backing his guy. I get it. I understand. You got to support your QB1. And then Travis Kelce decided today to fire a shot back. And I was like, oh, now we gotta fucking talk about this. So I want to start with you, Mikey, because you are closer in proximity to hatred of one of these teams, or both of these teams, really, to be completely honest. One is in your division and the other one is almost a dynasty, and we know that you hate that unless it's the Steelers. So I want to start with you. Is what Jamar Chase said when he said Pat who, was that the dumbest possible thing that he could do?
Yeah, probably. not the dumbest possible thing he could do. I find the bulletin board material that these professional athletes seek out can be taken to an extreme that is incredibly dumb. And Travis Kelce is the poster child of dumb bulletin board material. Well, what was he doing after the Super Bowl? Nobody gave us a chance. Nobody thought we had it. It's like, you were the favorite.
That was a lie. He said a lie to
It's how they motivate themselves. You've heard the legends of Jordan, right?
I was just going to say that. Last Dance. Dance.
No, but the restaurant one. The guy buying him dinner from the Utah Jazz and saying like nice shit about him, he took that personally. He found a way to turn everything. And I would argue, go ahead, no, you finish.
Well, it makes sense. You've got insanely talented people at every position. You need that something that's going to get you to work harder and play with that anger. And I get it. But also shut up about it after the fact.
Fuck you. No.
I have no patience for fake bulletin board material.
I want it all. It's not fake though. It's manufactured. Craig. I believe it is good. It is like good leadership, I would argue. For sports, and dare I say, could be in some business applications too. But like, there's different styles of leadership, right? There's the Nick Sabans of the world, there's the Bill Belichick's of the world, but then there's other successful coaches and big time ones. Popovich, right? Let's look if we're going NBA. I always do this. I always fucking do this, but like, Popovich had a different way about it. It wasn't, or Phil Jackson had a different way about it. How you lead these people, and for Kelce to realize that his man Pat Mahomes normally, for these last 5 years, and I love Mahomes, didn't really have the fuck you switch. He didn't shit talk very much. So Kelce knew the last couple of years to make sure they can they're in dynasty mode already, but now they're trying to like make historic shit happen. They're in dynasty mode already. Now it's like, can we do 3? Can we get to 4? And now we're in the rarest. Now we're in Steelers territory. Now we're in fucking 70s. That was the steel curtain time where that will get talked about forever. For the eternity of football, the steel curtain's a thing, right? I think, to your point, you have to do some weird shit and make it real for you. Because if it wasn't real, they won't play as hard. Look what happened to them in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay when maybe they were feeling themselves too much and had stone fucking hands. Travis fucking Kelce and Tyreek Hill dropping passes. Patrick Mahomes made the sickest throw of an incompletion in the universe ever in the history. And we can't enjoy it because they lost the game.
It's true.
I think what Travis did, and then Pat Mahomes coming back with a reply, which was after the fact. So I think you had the chronology a little off because it came out in New Heights first, and then Mahomes did the picture. I think Kelce is now boosting Mahomes's dogness, if you will, amongst his team that already loved him, obviously, but now feels like he's got a little fuck you in him too. And when you see that, it's like the Jordans of the world, the Kobes of the world, these people that tend to have that, I mean, it's going to be hard to topple them. And I think Jamar might have even slightly irked his buddy Joe Burrow. I think Joe, on the one hand, like probably 98% is like, oh man, it's dope that my guy has my back. And then 2% is like, fuck, we were already having trouble with that particular squad. We really shouldn't have done that. But there's like, because he's a smart dude. Rant over.
So my fear, if I'm a Bengals fan, Burrow, before this AFC Championship game, had beaten the Chiefs, or I should say the Bengals had beaten the Chiefs 3 times straight in a row, did not lose to them. That was the big talking point going into the AFC Championship game, was like, it was, Burrowhead was the big thing. And
which we saw how that went.
Right. I almost feel like you are making the same mistake. You are trying to say Pat who, when unequivocally, without a doubt, like even the biggest hater of anyone over the age of 27, Mike Thomas, can say,
hey,
like, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league right now, and at
Maybe
this current trajectory.
Have some dumb answer.
How old is he? Never mind.
Who's the best? Out. Yeah, right.
On the way down,
Mike.
Quarterback in the league today.
On this current
best quarterback
path,
in the league.
He could end up being a GOAT.
Geno
he could
Smith.
be a Mount Rushmore. Geno Smith. Damn it, Mike.
The best of takes. And then Geno wins MVP, and we're like, oh no.
Oh shit. Taysom Hill's the runner-up, and we're like, what did you do, Mike? What did you fucking do?
You broke football with your bad takes. The hex. While I didn't put him, I don't want a precursor later. I was looking at Geno earlier and like pondering him deeply over a topic we're going to talk about later, and then I just avoided I ended up avoiding it altogether. I was like, that's too much. And then he said that. I'm like, shit, he might rip. And then I remembered, wait, Mike's always wrong. So it's like he's in trouble. Geno, sorry, dog.
Who knows what's going to happen? Yeah, I think to put a nice little bow on this, I think the Bengals just made it harder on themselves coming up here. Patty showed last year that as long as he's got Kelce, it don't really matter who's at wide receiver as long as they can catch the ball.
I agree. Sorry, I was muted. I was fucking around with the buttons.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
I was like, shit. Why wasn't it going? Hover over. What? Sorry.
I'm trying to say stuff.
I'm doing this.
Mike, anything to add?
No,
I will have completely forgotten about it by the time those two teams play, but yes. Kelce will have not have.
Right. And that's scary.
He will be grumbling about it for the entire season.
Accurate.
And when they win the next Super Bowl, he'll be like, the Bengals, they hated us from yesterday or something. And
nobody believed in us. Even though we were the odds-on favorite all year long, nobody believed in us.
Absolutely. That is 1,000% correct.